everyone, welcome back to our channel.
We're the Dawnties.
My name's Rochelle.
I'm your favorite Donna.
And today we're going to share with you our top 3 favorite books that we read in the month of June.
Yay!
So every month we like to share with you our top 3 favorite books that we've read. Just because we read so much and there's 2 of us, there's no way we could do like a complete wrap up. But we have some really good reads this month, and one of them actually we share.
Yeah!
Which was my favorite book that I read this month. So we're going to save that to the end. Do you want to go first?
Okay.
Okay.
So, first one is The Venue by T.J. Payne, I think.
I want to read this one so bad. Okay, so what is it about?
Well, basically, this chick is invited to her old friend that she grew up with, like he lived across the street or something.
Okay.
They haven't really talked in a long time, but she's invited to his wedding. And it's a destination wedding, and he's super, super rich now, and he pays for everything for her, her mom and dad, and her plus one.
Okay.
So that's how you start it off. But it's not exactly the wedding that she thought she was headed to. Let's just put it like that.
Okay. Is it thriller, horror?
It's thriller.
Thriller?
Yeah.
It is short, too, isn't it? Isn't it like a smaller, on the
I
shorter
think
end?
I read it in one day.
Yeah.
So
I've heard about it, and I've seen a couple of people read it, like, over the past year. And after you read it, I was like, okay, I need to get on board with this book.
it was not what I was expecting. I really, really enjoyed it. It kept you, once they got to their destination and the wedding festivities started, you were on the edge of your seat.
Okay. All right. So check that one out if that sounds interesting. I definitely will. So the first book I want to talk about is actually a short story collection, and I don't read a whole lot of these. Actually, I think the only short story collections I have read is from Eric LaRocca, which is
That's
more
horror.
on the extreme horror side than just straight up horror. But this one is called Bad Dolls, and it is by Rachel Harrison. And she is slowly becoming like one of my top favorite horror authors, just because I think I've read 4 books by her and this collection. And let me tell you, it's called Bad Dolls, and there are 4 short stories in this book, and I don't own it yet, and I'm hoping I will get my hands on it soon, because the last story, which is titled Bad Dolls, was super creepy. And, like, okay, it's called Bad Dolls, you know, there's a theme in all 4 of these short stories. They're quick, they're spooky, and let's just say it's not a Toy Story kind of toy that we're talking about. It was so good, and every story just kind of meshed well with the overall theme. And I really, really enjoyed this one. And I'm excited for Rachel Harrison's new book coming out this fall. So thirsty. It looks so good. It sounds amazing. But I really enjoy her horror. It's not like grotesque. It's not overly descriptive in like that gory sense. But it is very creepy. And all of her books have like really creeped me out. But I loved it. I loved it.
My next one is Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. A lot of the people that we watch on BookTube have really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed it as well. It's about 3 girls that are foster girls, and they go back to the foster home that they grew up in.
Yes.
And they kind of remembering and reliving the past, and we're learning about the past through their memories. And I really enjoyed this one. It had a twist that I didn't even figure out.
And that was the first thing. As soon as she finished it, I was like, did you see it coming? And she was like, no. I read this a few months ago. I really enjoyed it. Sally Hepworth is pretty much a hit or miss author for me, but this one was a really great time. And yeah, it was definitely surprising. So the next book that I want to talk about is called A Talent for Murder by Peter Swanson. It says, no murder is by the book. This one is really, really short. I don't think it's even 300 pages, or if it, yeah, it's 250 pages. This one is the 3rd book, technically, in his series.
Kind Worth
The
Killing.
Kind Worth Killing. There we go. Thank you. The second book is The Kind Worth Saving, and then we have this one, A Talent for Murder. Now, this doesn't have to be read after the other two.
They're all interconnected standalones.
Yeah. Well, the first two are more connected than that. But yeah, this one is technically, you can read it as a standalone, but you do see some of the characters from the first two books in here. But in this one, we are following this woman who suspects her husband might be a murderer. And I'm just going to leave it at that because it is very, very short. I don't want to give any spoilers, but the way that you're following this woman and learning things about her past and learning things about her husband, because they haven't known each other long before they even get married. And there are certain things that are happening that she sees and that he comes home with that makes her question if he's a murderer. And this one was fast-paced. Like I said, it was short, so it really gets right into it, and I could not put this one down. I loved it.
That brings us to the last one, the one that we both wanted to talk about, so we decided to share it.
And it is?
It is In the Middle of the Night by Riley Sager.
Middle of the night. Whatever. Middle of the night. That's it. There's no the, there's no in the. It's middle of the night.
And if you've watched any of our book stuff, you know we both really, really like Riley Sager.
Yes.
So we were both looking forward to this one. It
Yes.
did not disappoint.
No.
I really, really enjoyed this one. So basically, this dude, when he was little, growing up, he and his friend pitched a tent in the backyard, and he wakes up in the morning, there's a slit in the side of the tent, and his friend's gone.
Like what?
So like 30 years, and disappeared. Nobody ever finds him. Nobody ever knows what happened to him. And it's like 20, 30 years later, circumstances, he's come back to that same house with that same backyard. And he's like, I wonder whatever happened to old so-and-so. Let's see if we can figure it out. So,
and things start happening that makes you question if the boy, I think his name is Billy, is haunting him now that he's back where he grew up, in the town, in the house.
Little things that only he and Billy should know.
Yes. And let me tell you, this is Riley Sager's first book from a male protagonist. All of his other books have had female main characters. So I was kind of wondering how this was going to play, especially because a lot of, males characters that are written kind of discuss women in certain ways that it's very stereotypical and just not cool, but he did a really great job with this main character, and I really think this is one of my favorites from him. There's so many
Riley Sagers that I've enjoyed.
I've enjoyed all of them except for one.
Yeah, same.
But I think this is top tier for me. But I would like to go back and reread some of his other books because they are just so good. And this one, like she said, did not disappoint. And I was shocked. I could not put this down. And I do not own it, but I will be getting it in our Book of the Month box in July because it was added to Book of the Month's add-ons halfway through the month whenever it released. And my box had already shipped. So.
I own it on Kindle already.
Well, I want to own the physical copy because it's beautiful. I love the neon colors on this, the neon green. I love the actual cover of it. It just looks so summery and spooky. And this book, every once in a while, I still say Hakuna Matata, dude.
Hakuna Matata, dude!
If you read the book, you'll understand the reference. But it was so good, and it really kept me on my toes. I actually really, really enjoyed how this one ended. It gave me the same satisfaction as his last year's release.
And then she's 80 and she killed her whole family, or so they think. What was that book called?
The only one left. That one.
Yes.
Okay, so the only one left had a very controversial ending. Some people loved it, such as myself, and some people absolutely hated it.
That was a bit much.
I was very satisfied with how that book ended. It tickled all my fancies, and this one did the same. I really liked how this one ended.
That one could have ended before it ended. Is
It
all
could
I'm
have,
saying.
but
It
I liked having that extra knowledge of what happens after the big, huge thing that happens at the end of that book. I really enjoyed that and seeing what happened next. This one had a very same feeling for me, but I haven't seen a lot of people read it yet because it just came out like 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago. And so I don't know how polarizing this ending is compared to last year's release. I wonder how many people are going to love it and how many people are going to hate it. Because I absolutely loved it.
I like the ending on this one.
Oh, it was so good. I can't wait to own it. So those were the favorite books that we read in the month of June. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if you've read any of these or if any of these sound really good to you. I am super excited to get my hands on the Riley Sager book. I want to own it. I want to own it. And I'm excited to see what else is going to be coming out. Oh, also, if you have any recommendations for us based on like the type of books that we like to read, let us know.
Because we always take a look at it, and I've read stuff that you guys have recommended and enjoyed it. So keep up the recs.
But that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.